That's the spirit. Let's give him a shout.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Senior developer, co-founder of VHG Mike held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 191. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and talked a little bit about the theming / focus of Season 4, which I think a lot of people are going to be excited about. And what we're going to start with is my community always asks about Barbarian when? And I think Mike is finally starting to say, yeah, Barbarian maybe, but that's not what we're getting. Listen to this.
Question: when can we expect a Barbarian class? I would caution using the word expect on there. It is possible that we may eventually do a Barbarian class, but there is no clear indication on timeline or guarantee that we will do it. I do think it's a really good option. I think there's like, it's fighting for a spot with like a hunter class, like a bow wielding Primalist, which I also think will be awesome.
A hunter class, and Mike has said over the years he would love to see Primalist be able to shoot a bow. Make a hunting class, and it's like, oh, it's fighting with hunter. But he continues. Listen to this.
What is a mastery you would like to see in the game, and why is it Barbarian? I mean, I'd really like to see hunter in the game. I think probably one of the things I'd like to see a lot, if we're just going off like personal wants, the 3 will be there. Is like some other void wielder. Like we only have one. Like if you look at the distribution of which classes have significant interaction with which different elements that we have in the game, like there's tons of physical everywhere, there's tons of these 3 elements everywhere. There's a very solid amount of poison. Pretty well every class can do poison well. Mage not so much. Sentinel not fantastic either, but the other 3 yes. And then necrotic is very limited where it shows up, and void is very limited where it shows up. So I'd love to see more representation for both of these. So like a void themed non-sentinel class and a necrotic themed non-acolyte class. They're both tough to pull off, and I don't know what they would be or where they would show up, but those would be like if you're like, hey Mike, you get to pick, it's probably where I'd go first.
I was on a crusade for years, pushing daily, weekly, monthly that the Warlock for Acolyte should have been void focused. I was saying it over and over and over again, and EHG is like, hey Aaron, we're finally going to tell you it is not void focused. I think they got sick of me pushing it so hard. So anyways, I do want a Barbarian. This community continues to push for Barbarian, but my new thought is we're going to get some kind of new void mastery, or a hunter will be the next one coming. Now let's talk crafting with crafting.
How would you say craft and acquisition has impacted day to day for you? Any big challenges or wins? I mean, the only impact it's had for me personally on a day-to-day basis is that I now have one more meeting every week for a new project that we spun up because it got greenlit after the acquisition. That's about it for me personally. I've been very much business as usual. And it's been fantastic.
New project that was greenlit after the acquisition that Mike is a part of. Achievements when?
Any plans for harder future achievements? I'll give some dope cosmetic rewards. Yeah. Yes, we are working on an achievement system. Ooh, I think there's space for, my goodness, just taking damage there. I think there's space for like cosmetic rewards, especially for things that are like significant feats of strength. I'd love to see like a cosmetic reward for like completing Aberoth and then completing Uberoth and then maybe completing Uberoth under a certain amount of time, or you know, I'd love to see some really weird feats of strength, like complete Uberoth with only 1 ability on your bar, or I don't know, things like that are you're just complete Uberoth without ever using an ability in the fight. I don't know if that's possible, but things like that I think could be a lot of fun.
Now, for this next section, I'm only going to play the end of Mike's answer, but ultimately the question is, hey, the campaign's already too long. We don't want more campaign. We want more endgame. And Mike goes on a little bit of a rant, and I'm sure this is very hard as a developer. Like, yeah, a lot of people want endgame, but then every single season, it's when are we going to get more story chapters? When are we going to find out what happens? When are you going to finish the campaign? And it doesn't matter what EHG does, somebody is disappointed, which is 100% true. Either way, this is what Mike said.
If it makes you feel any better, though, next season will, depending on who's listening, it will make you feel better or worse. Next season will not include another chapter to the end to the game, but it will include changes to the end game.
Season 4 will be fully end game focused, which I do think will make a majority of players happy. And I have a theory, and this is, I feel like this is what's going to happen. It's going to be like the PoE 1 wheel. And you spin the wheel, and we're going to get Delve or Breach or Blight or Harvest or whatever, you know, pick one of them. I feel like they're going to take one of those systems, EHG Last Epoch, and put it into the game. Because if you go on Discord or you go on Reddit, you go on their forums, you go in comment sections, it is overwhelming people asking for LE to slowly start pulling some of these things from PoE, and I think it's going to happen. This question hits home for me.
All right, after playing a Necro this season, how do you feel about their survivability? Do you feel like they still need some small adjustments? I'm really used to dying a lot. I don't know. I don't know if it is. I don't know if. Thanks, Justin. I don't know if it needs more survivability or not. It might. I don't think that I'm playing at a high enough level to really have a first-hand experience idea on what the survivability of this needs to be long term. We're just taking my experience playing this Necro here because that's how the question's framed. I think there's a lot of defenses that are afforded to you by being a minion build in general, by just being able to like go. Where's the button? That's the button. Go over there and fight for me. And like, so you can extend your reach as a player where you're out of harm's way and you're able to cause them to fight really far away for you, sort of thing. And this capability is a really powerful defensive tool. But most of the time, when you want to be when you want to go, in which case you're going with them, you're teleporting them with you, you're leading the charge, you're pushing forward yourself, and you're putting yourself in harm's way, which is how most builds are able to function nicely. And thematically, a Necromancer doesn't really function that great that way. I think there could be room for some mechanics where I don't even know if we still have this one. I should look. Do we still have cheat death on Necromancer where it like kills minions to keep yourself alive?
Not this stream. Last stream, I think Mike died more times than any time ever at 300 corruption. I think he died, I don't know, 10, 15 times during stream. And it was actually one of the few times from gameplay he looked kind of visually frustrated, which, you know, any gamer that's dying over and over again will get frustrated. Necromancer, if you compare the minion classes, sorry, I've played a ton of Necromancer, probably thousands of hours of Necromancer. If you compare Necromancer survivability to, let's say, Beastmaster, I think Beastmaster's like a 10x. It is not even close. The amount of health regen they got, the amount of life they can get, if they have more access to ward, believe it or not, they have huge amounts of damage reduction. I mean, it's not close. This is one of those rare occurrences where me and Mike don't agree, and that's okay.
Welcome. I would really like to know your opinion on having a mid-season patch with new events and content to bring players back to the season after the main player drop-off. Thanks again. I think that in theory, it's a really great idea. And I would love it if we could try it again. I think the first time we did it, it was, it had a bit of a, I don't know what the term for it is. It was like doomed to fail almost a little bit when we did it the first time, because it was, the timing of it was when people were expecting a full patch. And so it was just like naturally not very exciting. We didn't market it almost at all, and it didn't work great. So like because we have done this before and it didn't go over fantastic. Like the people who played it really enjoyed it, but the number of people that played it was teeny tiny. So it's really hard to justify trying it again. A lot of these things are, we try something and we only have so much time to try so many things. And so if we've got 10 ideas and we try one of them and it doesn't go fantastic, it's really hard to justify trying that idea again. Even if there was things that like it was doomed to fail from the start, sort of thing. Like, I don't know if it was doomed to fail necessarily, but like there was the deck was stacked against it a little bit just from the get-go. And I think that if we were to try it again, we probably could do it better. However, would it be good enough? I don't know. Maybe not. And if there's other things we can do instead that we don't have clear evidence against, I think they're more likely to get greenlit. So I think that if we were going to do an event like that, it would have to be something extremely low effort. Like, effort's the wrong word. Low dev time investment. So it'd be something that we can take, like, because if we invest dev time into an event like that, it means that the next patch will be smaller and there'll be less things that come out in that next patch, or it will be delayed. So either we're taking longer between patches, or there's less coming out in each patch if we're having a mid-season event. It's just the way it is. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's impossible to do, but the time, the dev time and effort that goes into it needs to be worth it, sort of thing.
I have so much to say on this answer. Okay. So right off the bat, EHG does not rebalance the game like, something super broken or what, 10,000 corruption. They're not going to readjust or retune it unless it's the start of a new season. So right off the bat, doing a mid-season reset, it gives you the ability to fix a ton of bugs, to reset the balance of the game, to reset the leaderboards, to reset the economy, and make the game, it gives you a second shot at balance and bugs before the next big season. So it should actually improve the health of the game, okay? Which is great for the player and is great for the game overall and the studio. Also, with new balance comes new builds. Something that was terrible is now something that you could play and try out, and it might be fun in the mid-season event. Also, I think we don't really need a lot. If you dropped one new unique per class, Mage gets a unique, Acolyte gets a unique, Sentinel gets a unique. So the mid-cycle, the mid-cycle event is 5 new items, tons of bug fixing, and and the rebalance that you were going to do anyways. So, you're taking that rebalance that was going to drop season 4, and now it drops 3.5. And again, it gives you another shot to see if you got the balance right. So then you could rebalance it again to fine tune it for season 4. I think that would be awesome. And I think it'd be very low effort. And I think the hardcore players, right? You're not going to pull back 1 million people, but it'll help the health of season 4 or whatever season you're doing. And the hardcore people would be very happy about it. Or you could completely change, okay, now we're going off the seasonal model of Last Epoch. Instead of a season every 4 months, you do a season every 6 months. So you almost get an expansion twice a year. But at the 3-month mark, you get a little bit of a bigger event. So you got 2 big seasons every year, expansions, and 2 smaller events at the 3-month mark. And now that 3-month mark would have bug fixing, would have balance, would have uniques, and would have some kind of smaller mechanic that would draw people back from it. I think this is a way better model than we're dropping a season every 4 to 5 months, depending on the timing. I don't know. It just makes more sense to me. Warbands.
Have guilds been thought about for last Epoch? Oh yes, many times. The item faction system, this was almost a guild system instead. Crazy, right? We were gonna call them Warbands, and
I have never heard that term before. I mean, I've never even heard them tease that. Warbands.
You were going to be able to trade freely inside of your warband. Or have like trade restrictions inside the warband where it's like, if you've, it never got fully fleshed out, but like it would have been something along the lines of like, okay, you've achieved so much honor for your warband that you can now access the guild bank, basically.
That's interesting. DLSS?
Right. What is the situation with DLSS support? I have no idea. I thought it was coming. I thought it was coming in season 3. I found out significantly before season 3 it wasn't coming, and I stopped saying it was, which is good. I don't know where it is. I don't know why we haven't got it yet.
There you have it. All right, everybody. Unfortunately, we've come to the final question for Dev Chat 191, and this is around battle passes inside of Last Epoch. Now, I just want to say very clearly, okay, the answer that Mike is about to give, he's given the same answer over the years. All right. I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, EHG is talking about battle passes because of the Crafton acquisition. That is not what this is. I could literally pull up Mike's answer on battle passes from years ago because I make all these videos. Okay. So just keep that in mind. His opinion on this has not changed after the acquisition. Mike, thank you for your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. Don't ever change, sir. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think I have earned it. Don't forget to check out my new website, actionrpg.com. Right now, we are going through and updating over 37 video build guides. The written sections are done, so now we're just fine-tuning them. New art, new loot filters. It is really, really cool, and we got a new writer. So very excited for actionrpg.com. I'm done. Mike, take it away with battle passes.
Yeah, so I think it's, there are situations where that can be okay. It doesn't feel great in a lot of situations, and like when we've done limited time Twitch drops, for example, where these are things that anyone can earn as long as they're just there at the right time and there's no purchase required for it. Those things we've said like, okay, it's like limited time Twitch drop, but then we'll have like a redux for it, and they'll come back for like another week or something like that, and then like they go away again. They come back again like in a month after that. So like having those is having limited time opportunity to get free MTX is fine, I think, as long as there are situations where they can come back again, or be limited for like a really good reason. I don't know what it would be. But yeah, I think when they're free and they're just there for showing up at a specific time, lots of times people just like aren't available at that time, and they didn't get the opportunity to even have it, and that's really frustrating. So we try to make sure that in situations like that we bring them back for another, like a second shot at it at some point. So to the root of the question, in the situation of a battle pass specifically. Where'd the question go? Yes, thank you. Battle pass. Okay. Thank you, Derek. I just wanted to make sure I remember the question. I knew it was gonna be a tangent, a rambler. That was a lot of health regen on that helmet. Hand was one off on the keyboard. I think that it is possible to do a battle pass and have it be a very positive thing. I think there are examples out there of this happening. I don't know any off the top of my head. I think there are way more examples of battle passes being done in a not positive way. And I think that I think people have had a lot more exposure to not positive forms of battle passes, and therefore they get this sort of like, they get a bit of a bad rap, I think, as a whole, because there's this idea that they'll like most of the time they're done in a way that's not very positive, and therefore if one's going to exist, it's probably going to be in a way that's not very positive. So I think there's like that that layer of like, it sounds terrible to say this, but like battle pass prejudice that needs to be like overcome in order to release one successfully. And I think you have to be really careful about how you do it if you're going to do it. As far as I'm aware, there's no plans to do a battle pass in Last Epoch, so I don't know if it's going to happen. I think it's possible to do it well, and I think if it is done well, it can actually be a really great thing to have in the game. I think it can drive interaction and like give purpose to specific things that might not be something you try to do in a season. I think it can also give you like just small incremental rewards, especially for a new player, that says like you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path, and just having that signposting of like, this is what you're supposed to be doing, yes, good job, for a new player is really useful. And it kind of, you can bring it in universe a little bit. I think it's better when they're brought in universe, and maybe they don't seem like battle passes always, because really, like, what is a battle pass but like a structured quest line, you know? Like frequently the like requirements for it is just like get more XP or whatever, like just play more. And that can be fine. I think that the ones that are more successful generally incorporate specific actions of things you need to do. It's almost like a temporary achievement system more than a battle pass. And like the lines of these things and like the terms on what gets used, it's so blurred. But I think one of the key defining features of a battle pass as opposed to like an achievement system is that usually, not always, but usually there's this like paid version of it. And the most important thing I think with a paid version of it is that it doesn't let you progress through the pass any faster, and it doesn't give you any mechanical advantages from the pass. So you have to any sort of paid addition to a battle pass needs to grant cosmetics. Like you could, yeah, no, not really. So specifically about limited time items that once gone, players can't get any more. Specifically, this question towards seasonal MTX rewards from a battle pass. So in this situation, I think that if there were free, or even I think if there were free MTX achievable through a battle pass system, I'd like to see those be brought back for future battle passes. Not necessarily every season, but I'd like to see them be like a. I think the ideal way to do it would be like there's a pool of say 20 MTX that can exist in this battle pass, and each season 4 of them show up, and that pool maybe gets bigger by 2. There's like each season there's like 2 new ones and 2 from the pool, 2 new ones and 2 from the pool, and it like so they keep coming back, and there's a chance you can get them in the future, sort of thing. I think something like that would be appropriate. I could be so wrong about all this too. Sort of just my gut feeling on a lot of this. I think it would take a lot more discussion, and I'd be really interested to hear what people have, like what people want as well. Cool.